Hi kiddos, it's Miss Groats. I'm going to be going over the day 2 CER. My apologies on putting this video up late. Ran into some extra stuff yesterday. So we're doing day 2 CER number 7, blood glucose. Now you may remember in the beginning of the year, we were trying to solve out what was wrong with Elisa. She was feeling tired, she had different symptoms, and we had to look at the data just like doctors are doing all the time to analyze what's going on. So we're going to be put on our doctor hats today to be able to solve this CER. Now before I get to the CER, we're familiar with writing those. I need to figure out what am I working with. Now whenever I write a claim, I need to be answering a question. This one can be a little tricky because there is not a clear question mark that we're answering, so I have to read this prompt really closely to know what my claim will be. All right, so using data analysis to make a decision based on a claim, evidence, reasoning. All right, let's do it. Read the scenario below. You are tasked with interpreting the results of a glucose test given to test subjects. Now, it says test subjects, but these are actually people. So we're going to be looking at 7 different people in this test. They will also be called subjects. You are tasked with ranking the test subjects in order of most at risk for diabetes to least at risk for diabetes. The lower the blood glucose level over time, the less risk a person has for developing diabetes. Okay, this is big. So what I need to do is I need to figure out that one, I'm responsible for ranking them. So I have 7 different things. I need to rank these from most at risk of getting diabetes to least at risk of getting diabetes. When I do that, I'm going to get something that looks a little like this. And I'm going to, as I approach the CEA, I'm going to, number 1, compare, which column did I like? After 15 minutes. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to compare the after 15 minutes time column to the after 120 minutes column for each subject. So what we're doing in this test, let me go back over. It says that the subjects' blood glucose levels were taken at different time intervals, and that right at the beginning of the test, each subject drank a glucose drink. The subject did not eat or drink once the test time frame started after the initial drink. Okay, so all I can assume, since it says that the subjects did not eat or drink once the test started, is that this breakfast and lunch happened before the test. So let's say that this test happens around dinner time. So we give each of these subjects that glucose drink at dinner. We ask them questions. Did you eat breakfast today? Did you eat lunch today? So people who ate people who ate lunch, if we're doing our introducing our glucose drink at dinner time, if someone ate lunch, they should likely have a higher initial level. So I'm looking for a pattern here. All of the Y's are yeses for people who ate lunch. It looks like it's not consistent that all of them have higher levels of glucose, which is interesting. Um, some of them have a high glucose level without even eating lunch, which is a little bit unusual. So that's something for me to look at. This also tells me if they had breakfast earlier in the day. So I'm trying to take into account, does diet have anything to do with this or not? What I'm mostly looking at is this 15-minute column. So the initial level is when they drink it. It takes a few minutes for the glucose to get into their blood, but it's going to get in there pretty quick. After 15 minutes, then I'm going to be measuring the glucose in their blood, and it's going to tell me what it's at as soon as the drink was added. So everyone's glucose should have gone up. I can see from the initial level to 15 minutes after that for all 7 of my subjects, from these numbers to these, they get bigger, except I need to take into account this test subject did not. test subject 2. It looks like test subject 2 had lunch and started with the highest glucose level, so maybe that's why their glucose didn't go up. But for everyone else except for subject 2, I'm going to be seeing a pattern that they're going up. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to compare this table, the 15 minutes, to the 120. So what happened over time? I can see that for subject 1, their glucose went up and then it started to go down, but it's going down pretty slow. So it spiked up very high as soon as we added the glucose drink. So it doubled in the amount, and then it continued to go up for an hour. After an hour, after 2 hours, then it decided to go back down again. All right, over here for subject 2, they started really high. Maybe it's because they had lunch. And then even with drinking the drink, this is the only person where their glucose didn't go up after 15 minutes. So that leads me to believe that they're probably not at high risk for diabetes. They have in general high levels, but they do trend downward. It could be a possibility because these are abnormally high. When I compare the end results, this is the third highest one, that this is someone that I would want to do more testing with. I would probably rank test subject 2 on my table as somewhere over here for right now. So I can come back to my table and I can rearrange these and push them around. But right now, subject 2 is one that is just, it doesn't follow the patterns that I see for many of the other subjects. So I'd want to put it closer to likely to get diabetes, where as a doctor, I need to keep researching this, but the solid evidence itself isn't presented to me just yet. So I'm going to have to look into it more. Is it possible? Yes, but I'm going to try to see where these other patients fall. Okay, so we're going back over to our data again. And this analyzing with 7 different subjects is no joke, so let's go through it. Looking at subject 1, let me put subject 1 on here. I think that subject 1 was pretty high. Subject 1 doubled in their glucose after they drank it, so that leads me to believe that they might be at risk of diabetes. Okay, subject 3. All right, so their initial blood sugar was at 90. They didn't eat breakfast or lunch, so it's pretty low. They took the glucose drink, it went up, and then immediately after 30 minutes, it started going back down. So they took the drink, had glucose in their blood, and then after 30 minutes, that glucose was already getting transferred out of their blood. So that's a healthy sign. This is a patient that I'm not worried about. So I'm going to come back over here to my table, and I want to put subject 3. There might be someone that's less of a concern to me, but right now there's nothing about subject 3 that makes me worried. Okay. And back over here. Okay, subject 4 is someone who started with about an average initial glucose level in their blood, and after the drink, it went up quite a lot. After 30 minutes, it started to go down. After an hour, it went down really low, and after 2 hours, it went down very low. So the lower their blood glucose level is over time, the less risk they have for having diabetes. I would say that this person has a very low risk because their glucose got down pretty low at the end. I'm going to go back to my document and I'm going to change the order that I initially had. I had subject 3 here. I'm going to move subject 3 there and put subject 4 in here. So I went through and showed you how I analyzed the first 4 subjects. I want you to go through and do the next the next 3 subjects on your own. So you'll be analyzing 5, 6, and 7. And what I want you to do when you're done with that is, as you do that, you might rearrange these. It's okay if you push 1 here, if you push 3 over here, but yeah, go ahead and reorder these according to what you found. This was the initial area that the order that I put them in. So after I compare these, those columns, then I'm going to order subjects 1 through 7 from, let's see, least to most likely to get diabetes. Okay. So after we do that, then we're going to start our claim. The question that we're answering, let me go back to our prompt. So, okay. All right, so from reading the prompt and coming up with a question that I want you to answer for the CEA, I want it to be something, let's do this. Okay. Okay. So what I want this to look like for you is question, the lower blood glucose levels are over time, the less likely someone is to get diabetes. What system did you use to rank subjects 1 through 7 based off of your data analysis of their blood glucose in milligram percentage test results? This refers to the data table. So, data table. Okay. First thing I want you to do is make your claim for how you set up a system to organize the subjects based off of what information. And then for the evidence, I want you to get two pieces of evidence from the table, this data table right here, that explains how you identified the most likely subject to get diabetes and the least likely subject to get diabetes. After you do that, you're going to give your reasoning to explain what this data means. All right. That's all that I have for today. The paper that you're going to fill out looks something like this. So we're familiar with CERs. You'll be making one of those. And ask you for a representation space. So this is any other writing that you would like to do, drawing, anything like that. I'll give you an example of one of these for the next one. and bye!